Welcome back, Ross Sanger family. So today we got a special treat for you. We know this is a Fluffo channel. We play all those cute cards. So we found somebody that plays Melfi, the second cutest cards out there. It's time. Let's go. So alright, so how long have you been playing this deck for?
I'd probably say about a month. I just got really bored of the current format, you know, all these needle fiber combos, link cross combos, all that. And while I do play needle fiber in the extra deck, that's just like bait. I don't even want to do it. It's literally just to climb into access code. It's no fiber combos, nothing crazy like that. So it's just a like refreshment from the current format, because Yu-Gi-Oh right now, to be honest, is kind of boring. And this deck is fairly cheap. And I realized when I first started playing it, I wasn't doing well with it, but I've actually beaten Infernoble, Dragon Link on this, on DB with this deck, taking it to locals, and I've done pretty well. And I played Cody Angeloff with this deck, and actually beat him on DB when he was playing Goki. So this deck can get some wins. It's not just a scrub deck. When I first started playing it, I thought it was...
So for the viewers who don't know who Cody is, who is he?
He's our longest reigning national champion in the history of Yu-Gi-Oh!
And you beat him with Melfi,
yeah,
while he's playing a meta deck.
Surprisingly, yeah.
So this must be a good list, man.
All right, let's hop in.
All right.
All right, so I play 3 Rescue Cat. This is probably, along with Obedient School, the best card in the deck. It's a 1-card Nat Beast. Basically what it does is you contribute it to summon 2 level 3 or lower beasts from your deck. So as you guys know, this is probably the best card in the deck. And we play 3 Nimble Beaver. So basically why you play this is it's a 1-card starter. You summon the XYZ Melfi of the Forest. And basically Melfi of the Forest is your engine card, because you search any Melfi card you're missing. I play 3 Melfi Puppy. Basically all the Melfis, what they do is during each of your end phases, you can reveal the special summon them from the hand. And they all activate their effects when your opponent normal or special summons a monster. They bounce themselves to the hand, and Puppy, for instance, he specials from decks. This is the best Melfi. He summons Kalantosa from the deck, so he turns into it. Puppy is basically pop any card in the field. So that's what I'm saying about this deck. It actually has like good utility cards in it. Surprisingly, as I've played it, this card's actually insane, and I see a lot of like good cards in this deck, good standalone cards. Beaver, Cat, Puppy, they're all good standalone cards.
That's a pretty fat puppy, man.
Oh yeah, he's thick. The next best one is 3 Caddy. So Caddy's the same. You can reveal it during the end phase to special summon it from the hand. And when your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you bounce it to the hand and search any beast from your deck. So you can search Rescue Cat, or you can search a card I'm going to show you guys in a little bit. It's the Spice. This is the worst one. You just kind of play for a name, and sometimes, unfortunately, you do draw Kalantosa. It specials a beast from the hand. A level, I don't actually know.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah, that's how bad. You can summon any beast from your hand. So this is the worst one. You just kind of play it for a free name and to summon it off of Obedient School. This is the card that interacts with Puppy and sometimes Finny whenever you draw this card. This turns Puppy into a pop 1 card in the field, which is actually really nice. So this card's really, really good. Sucks drawing it, but it happens sometimes.
But it pops any card or just...
Any card. Any card. If you play artifacts on this deck and you draw a Scythe, you can pop your own Scythe.
Oh, okay.
So it's just really good. That's Puppy ammo. And basically these next cards are kind of what you're gonna summon. This is gonna what you're gonna summon off of Rescue Cat. It has a pretty decent effect. You could discard a card to target any level 2 beast in your graveyard and special summon it. This is the most drawn card in the deck. You're never not going to draw this card, but this is what turns your Rescue Cat into a 1-card Nat Beast.
It was Bambi.
Bambi.
Man, there's too many cute cards in this deck.
And with that, off the Rescue Cat, I don't own one, but I was playing Pero Cerberus. But I decided to play this card. It's Mind Mold. Basically what it states is if you synchro summon it into a beast monster, you draw a card. So you're drawing a card for free off of making that beast, which is nuts. This is the card you summon off. This is the tuner you summon off of Obedient School. It has a pretty decent effect. Both these tuners have pretty decent effects. This can revive any beast from the graveyard. And they're both tuners, so you can make the occasional needle fiber play if you need to go for game into access code. This card, he has a decent effect. Basically, when he's summoned, you can target a tuner in your graveyard and special summon it. So you can summon an Ash, a Veiler that you used on your opponent. So it comes handy sometimes. You draw these two a lot though. Unfortunately, there are breaks. That's why I cut this, or I expanded this deck to 50 cards. Because I got tired of drawing the bricks, but it still always happens. And this is the spice of the deck. Basically, I was looking for another beast monster, and my friend James actually recommended this card, and it's been perfect ever since, because this deck needs big bodies. A lot of the stuff is very small, and it's hard to get over established fields. So this is actually a beast card, Danger Bigfoot. 3,000 attack, has a good effect when discarded. It auto-outs Dragoons. A lot of people, they don't negate this with Dragoons. So what ends up happening is you reveal a special this, you ask for a response, they say no, they roll the dice, they miss, this summons, crash into Dragoons. So it's really like slept on, and it's a beast, so you can search it off at Caddy. Yeah,
because I'm in that Melfi group, I've never seen anybody talk about beasts.
Yeah, so a lot of the time I'll either search this, my two targets are always gonna be this, or Rescue Cat off the Caddy. So you search this to beat over a big threat, or you search or if you usually already have Cat, you'll already search that.
All right, well that's different.
And so of course, I play the one of Tinkertops. It's just really good. Sometimes you're not gonna win the dice roll, so just going second, you need cards like this, especially basically the flaw with this deck is it's very hard to out big things. So this is just a good card. And of course, to compete in Yu-Gi-Oh, you need your couple of hand traps. So I play 3 Effect Veiler. This is probably, along with Imperm, the best hand trap in the deck. Because what happens is, for instance, with the Melfis, they have to respond with a direct response to whatever your opponent's doing. So if they summon something, let's say they summon Neospace Connector, and they activate the effect, and I have Puppy on field. So I can't Ash Connector and then activate Puppy effect. So that's a problem. So that's why Imperm and Veiler are actually the best hand traps in this deck, because if they summon Connector, I chain Puppy as Chain Link 2, and Imperm and Veiler, they don't care about what's on the Chain Link. So that's why these cards are actually the best cards in this deck.
All right. Because I was a little bit confused, and now you cleared it really well.
So the next hand trap is pretty random, but it's DD Crow. This can be whatever you want. This can be Ogre. I'm not saying that this is correct. I'm actually not sure. But on DB, I've been playing against a lot of Dino and a lot of Invoked. And this card, whenever they activate OV, search miss, disc miss, you just hit the miscellaneous and put them on better, have another one. And same thing in the against the Invoke deck. They summon Alistair, link way into Secure Gardno. You just hit this, don't even let them activate Invocation. So it's okay. It's not very good against Dragon Link or Infernoble, but you can side other hand traps, or you can play another hand trap and place this. You can play Gamma Driver if you want to.
So it's pretty good against like road decks, you're saying?
Yeah, but it has its utilities. It's good to pair it with another hand trap, kind of like most hand traps. The only impactful hand traps this format are really Gamma and Nibiru.
All right.
So the most universal hand trap, Ash Blossom. Nothing really to say. It's just the best. You know, people have always played 3 of this since it came out. It's just universal. Next, this is, along with Rescue Cat, the best card in the deck. It's 1 card Nat Beast. It has a restriction though. I think this is a little worse than Cat. I'm not sure. You can only summon Beast the turn after this effect resolves. So, you know, that can hurt you sometimes. And then where most Melfi decks don't play this card, I do play it because I play 50, and I think this card this deck needs draw power. It's 3 Pot of Desires. You don't really care what you banish. You just want to have Kalantos in the deck, and as long as you don't banish, usually you only need 1 Puppy or 1 Caddy to play. So this card's actually great in the deck, and you're playing a higher count, so you don't see the bricks as much. You do see them, but not as much. So this is a little bit different. I play 2 Hide and Seek. A lot of Melfi players, they play the Melfi Tag, which is a Monster Reborn, and I was playing that card, but I found this card to be a lot better. This is, you target 3 beasts in your graveyard with different names, shuffle all 3 in the deck, and if you do, you draw a card. So it's kind of like Daigusto Emerald. I was playing the tag, but often times I just didn't need it. Also, this card is really useful because I've played on DB and people will try to ogre your Puppy or your Nat Beast when you have it on field. And the first time this would be destroyed, a beast would be destroyed by card effect, it's saved. So this card's actually really good. So I bumped it up to 2 instead of playing tag. And you can play cards like Dark Hole and Torrential in this deck, and this will protect it. So it interacts really well with your own cards and those cards.
So you're saying if you can't afford Lightning Storm, you can play 1 Raigeki and 2 Dark Holes, and you should be
yeah, I don't even play Lightning Storm in the mainer side. I just don't think it's needed in this deck.
Right.
Unfortunately, this card's at 1. Kind of hurts this deck because, you know, it's really frustrating when your opponent Valors the Rescue Cat on summon, and then where if they Ash the Rescue Cat, it's just really frustrating. So having this at 1 does hurt this deck a lot, because I would definitely play 3 of this over 3 Talents in this deck. I don't play Talents because I think this card's actually better in this deck, but Talents really isn't needed. I wish this was at 3. It hurt a lot. This is kind of random, but the more I play this deck, I realize it's hard to deal with established fields. That's the biggest problem. So I play Raigeki. But people are surprised when I play this card because, you know, this card's ancient. You know, it's crazy that we've gotten to a point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where Raigeki is just kind of questionable card. A card like this is questionable, but in this deck I find it really good. That's why I side Dark Holes. Because basically you try to hand trap your opponent, soften their board, and activate Raigeki, cards like that, because this deck it struggles with big monsters. Okay, so this is kind of going with that theme of kind of dealing with established boards. You hand trap them and deal with their board. Play 3 Paleozoic Dinomischus. So this card's pretty sweet because my friend James kind of showed me. He's the one who told me to play Bigfoot. So what's kind of nuts about this card is it interacts really well with, let me find it, with this card. So basically what will happen is you'll have your Caddy on board, and this is, when I have this set, I almost always search this card if I don't have it. Because what will happen is it interacts really well with Caddy, because Caddy can search any beast. So your opponent does something, you bounce Caddy, they think, okay, if Caddy's fine, you add this, they're like, okay, that's fine. They get hit with this, so you wait for them to get 2 cards on field, you hit one, discard Bigfoot, hit another one. So this card interacts really well with Danger Bigfoot, which is searchable in this deck. That's the crazy part. And I play 3 Ice Dragon's Prison. This card's just really slept on in the current format. I think it's really good in this deck because, as I said, it's tough dealing with boards. So you can hand trap them a little bit, and this is probably the best card, the best trap going second. And this card's just really sweet. Sometimes you can bait Dragoons with an Obedience School to a Rescue Cat. If you're already ahead, and you'll have this set, and after you bait them, you can just target their Dark Magician and Graveyard. So that's an easy out to Dragoons, or with the Bigfoot. So this deck does have outs to Dragoons. And this card's nuts against Infernoble and Dragonlink. Next card, the last 3 cards in the deck are Infinite Impermanence. You know, not really much to say about this card. It's probably the safest hand trap. It plays around talents. It just kind of does everything you want it to in a card.
All right, so that looks like a pretty big deck. That was a lot of 3-ofs.
Yeah, 50 cards, but I found, you know, I've really liked this deck, and I've gotten a lot of wins with this deck. It's a lot more solid than I thought it was in the beginning, and this deck, as you guys are going to see in some replays, it actually does win against meta decks. It's solid because it has a lot of good standalone cards. It plays a lot of good cards in this deck. Puppy's a good standalone card. Desire's good card. Obedience School, good card. Rescue Cat, good card in the hand traps. So I'd probably say I've won 65% of my games on DB with this deck. And literally, I'm probably rated like 550 right now. It's only from playing Melfi's.
And I know a lot of people are going to say 65% is not a lot, but like, let's remember, this is Melfi.
Yeah, Melfi. And people are like, they get salty when they lose this deck. It's hilarious.
Like, this deck is not even considered in the top 3. I believe it was like, people, what, tier 4?
Probably tier 4, but after playing, I'd probably say it's like high tier 3, honestly. Like, it's actually a good deck. Puppy and Catty are good standalone cards.
So, playing against the meta, because you know everyone's playing Anaconda, the Needle Fiber combo, Noble Knights. That's a good percentage. Yeah,
and it's just a refreshment. It just feels good to play something that doesn't require those cards, and you can win with it. So this feels really good. You want to go in the extra deck?
Yep.
So this is the card you make in the extra deck a lot. So the Archetype monster. So Melfi of the Forest. So what it does is you can detach material to search any Melfi card from your deck to your hand. So you can search Puppy if you're missing that, Catty if you're missing that, or usually I'll search the hide and seek. So, and then it has another effect. Whenever a Melfi's bounced to your hand, you can target a face-up monster on your opponent's field, negates effects, and it can't attack. So that comes in handy against Infernoble Knight, because when they make a Soul Day, you usually will have a Puppy or Catty. You'll trigger Puppy or Catty, bounce it, and then this will hit a Soul Day. So if they want a Soul Day summon, they'll literally have to link into another Soul Day. So it makes them kind of waste that. So this is probably the second best card or first best card in the extra deck. Of course, Nat Bees, that's kind of what the deck is all about. This card's still insane in 2020. Card's nuts. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. This beats decks like Mystic Mine, Dinos, Infernobles, Dragonlink has a lot of spells. This card's just nuts.
You wouldn't expect it to be Dinos, but you know, that DNA, what's it called? What's that spell card called? Banish a monster and a dinosaur.
Oh, Double Evolution Pill?
Yeah, that card's a really
good
card to negate.
So this card's good against basically the format. Even Guru, Hidden City, you know, Hidden Extravagances for the Rogue deck. So it does have something. The next card I play is basically, I don't know where the second one went, but you would play 2 of this card. This card is insane. So this is another reason why.
Let me see that card. Let me get that closer view. All right, explain why this card is so busted.
Well, my friend James kind of told me about this card too, and at first I was kind of like, whatever, man. You know, it probably won't come up. This card comes up most of the time. This is your boss monster in the extra deck, I would say. So if you're playing against, like, I keep summoning Pancratops from the deck. If your opponent has something Earth in their graveyard, basically you detach a material from this card to target a monster in your opponent's graveyard and special it to their field. So why that's good is you're going to detach to special if they have an Earth engrave, you special the Earth to their field. And then its second effect will trigger if a monster special summon to your opponent's field except during the damage step, you special summon one with that same attribute. So basically what you're gonna do is, you know, I was playing against Goki. He had Earths in his graveyard, of course. And I summoned Pankratops from the deck. Hand or deck or graveyard. So if you drew it, you can special it from hand. Or this triggers Kalantosa as well. So if they summon something Earth, you can special this. Now you can do cool things with this card. You can, if they summon a Light, if they summon a Solday, you can side a Christia. And then when they summon a Solday, you summon a Light from your hand, deck, or graveyard. So you can even summon Christia. You can summon Ghost Ogre from your deck. This card it tutors anything in your deck. It's pretty insane. I'm looking for a good dark Floodgate so I can play it against Dragon Link if you guys have one.
All right, so for the new players that don't know what Christia is, because Christia is a really older card and hasn't seen meta play in a while, what does it do?
Basically, neither player can special summon. It's 2800 attack. It's a big body, which is great for this deck. So if your opponent summons a Solday and you have this on field, you summon Christia from the deck. They can no longer special summon. You can also summon Ghost Ogre. I do that a lot because post side, I don't main Ghost Ogre, but I do side it. So that's came up to where I summon Ghost Ogre from the deck.
All right.
So this card's really, really good. The next card is Sandayu. So you detach material from this card to summon a token of the highest monster on field. This does come up. So if your opponent has your goons, they think it's big, you can bait it, summon this, detach a material from it, and the token will become the attack of the highest monster on field. So this helps get over big things. And this is particularly good. And the good thing about this card as well is when you Obedient School, you're locked into beasts for the rest of the turn. And these cards, thankfully, are beast. Blah, blah, blah. These next two XYZs, they don't come out that much, but you kind of plan for the utility. This card, when it battles after damage calc, can be destroyed by battle. You detach a material to bounce their monster back to the hand. So this can also kind of out Dragoons. You don't make it that much. It's a Beast Warrior, unfortunately. These aren't Beasts, this is a Warrior. So this helps against cards like Beatrice and stuff. So sometimes you will make it against a Beatrice. And this one, you detach material from it to basically drop an opponent's monster's attack to 0. Like I said, those two don't really come up, but they're kind of just in there. This extract is pretty flexible. The more I play this deck, I realize you don't need a lot of these cards. And I play Hulk because this is a tuner. So sometimes you'll have this and search it off a caddy for a follow-up Hulk play, or you can summon this off a Rescue Cat and make Needle Fiber. This isn't a Needle Fiber deck. It's just kind of in there for the utility. It's no combos really with it or anything. You're just doing it to make Unicorn, climb into access code, and go for game.
All right, so you're not playing that Savage Dragon nonsense.
Nothing degenerate about it. I mean, the card is degenerate. I wish it wasn't in the format. It just makes all these decks feel the same. But this deck isn't about that. So then with that, you just play the Phoenix, the Unicorn. Sometimes you just don't even activate the effect. You just link it up into access code. A lot of the time you won't even make this stuff. It's just in there. This is probably the best link in the deck because it's a beast. It gives your guys bigger attack. And sometimes when you have Obedient School, you'll just get your 3 monsters. You'll overlay into a forest, search, hide, and seek. You'll search this, and then you'll link this and the monster you have left from Obedient School into this, and it makes this card instantly live. So Obedient School, it's also just a draw 1 if you choose not to play Nat Beast, or you just open the brick to where you can't make it. So it's really good. These next 2 cards, I just kind of play them. This can be whatever. It's Intis and Omega. It's just for those Dogmatica decks that sometimes, you know, you can punish them by playing this card, and you can force them to shotgun a window for a card like Imperm. Like if you have Imperm, you drew it for turn. If they make you send this off the Maximus, you can force window and just Imperm the window. So it can come up. This can be whatever you want though, it's not necessary. A lot of these cards aren't necessary in the extra deck.
All right, is there any shout outs you want to give out?
Shout out to James, Kentrell, Steven, Denny, Ross Sangan, of course, my wife, and just anybody at DZ, anybody from Oklahoma. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh sucks right now. You know, we're in a weird time, but it'll get back normal eventually. But yeah, this deck's actually pretty nice the more I play it, and I've had some decent success with it. But people get pretty salty when they lose this deck. And nobody knows what these cards do at all.
And all right, so subscribe to my channel so we can see this gameplays, because we'll be posting a lot of Melfi gameplays from now on. So make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified. Best budget deck out there.
I see you guys made it to the end of the video. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, join the Ross Sangan family, hit that notification bell so you guys can be notified when we upload new videos. And let's keep it with the Ross Sangan!